We're located here in what we like to call the River Hills of southwestern Lancaster County, about 15 miles directly south of Lancaster City. My name is Steve Groff, and I'm a farmer who has the privilege, I would say, of being a third generation on this farm, fourth generation coming up with my son here. So a farm about 200 acres. As you can kind of see around here, we have beautiful pollinator attracting plants in our no-till pumpkin fields. I'm just happy to be able to share a little bit about how I farm. We started farming here in 1935 with my grandparents. And when I started taking over the farm, or right after I got out of high school, I was concerned about the soil erosion here on our steep slopes, especially during rain events. And at that time, I wasn't really concerned about the environment per se. It was just a pain, and it was an extra job. We had to close the ditches before we could harvest our crops. I didn't realize the other benefits that this could lead to. We started not plowing our fields, a concept called no-till, no tillage. And then in the late 1980s, early 1990s, I started getting more interested in the use of cover crops. A cover crop is any plant that is planted between our cash crops. So usually it happens in the fall and grows to the next spring before we plant the next cash crop. So cover crop is in reference to covering the soil, protecting the soil so it doesn't wash away, doesn't erode away. So then as I began to understand about the value of them, I realized there's other benefits as well in the context of soil health, cleaner water, which we're all concerned about. And I started being more intentional about seeing if that could not only help me to be a better farmer by reducing some costs, because we started realizing we don't have to pay for as many inputs and some fertilizers and pesticides and things like that. That whole journey led to what we now call regenerative agriculture. So I want to show you, let's just take a little shovel full of soil here. And I got a lot of stones here, so it takes a little time to get dug in here. I will say that since I started no-till, I don't have as many stones in the top part of the soil. But as we open this soil up, we can see some of the roots of our plants growing here. The soil is nice and crumbly. It's not tight, it's not compacted at all in that regard. We can see some of the plant roots. So you can see now some of my roots have been decaying from my cover crop, and then my squash roots can follow those channels and get right down in there and grow. I want to try to find some earthworm channels here. I do find an earthworm right there. That's always a good sign. We'll open this up a little bit, and see, that earthworm is making holes that my plant roots then can go down later on. So this is the system at work, the biological system. These are my tillers. That's what, I don't need a rototiller here. As we look across the way food is produced now in the world, there's much greater interest to this way of farming. And I want to try to help anybody who is interested in doing this. And it's something that I'm passionate about because I've seen it work here in my farm, and I've been to other places where I've seen it work as well.